record it ahead of time. I'll prepare it for you. I may ask you some questions about it. Not that I may, I will. Inside of the Facebook group, inside of GoPro Academy. I'll ask you some questions on what you'd like to see answered in it. And then on Saturday, July 7th, we will present it to you. The topic is going to be problem solving. How to solve problems in your organization, in your business. Large problems and small. Problems with your team, problems with your company, problems with international growth, problems with culture, problems with people who are disruptive within your organization, problems with people who are highly negative, problems with teams quitting, problems with people joining another company, problems from other companies raiding your company. A lot of different problems, but really there's about, I would say, 8 to 10 key problems that you need to learn how to solve because they'll keep happening within your organization. You can protect against them, but they're going to keep happening over the course of your career. So I learned that the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. So I decided to become a better problem solver. And that's what we're going to teach you how to do is become a better problem solver, no matter what the problem is. But we're going to focus specifically on the network marketing profession and how you can use them. Okay? So I'm excited about that. I'll be asking you for what some of your problems are that we can talk about. I mean, because it can be personal problems, all kinds of stuff that we can talk about, and then we will produce that and have it ready for you on Saturday, July 7th. Okay? So, now, yeah, Anders, you asked about promoting events. You're welcome. Happy to do this about promoting events. I'm excited about today. This events really saved my network marketing career. They really did, because I was struggling with a lot of other aspects of my life. I was struggling with credibility. I was struggling with presentation. I was struggling with a whole bunch of different things. I wasn't very good at closing. I wasn't very good at follow-up. But events did so much of the work for me. Events did so much of the work because all I had to do was be good at getting people in front of somebody else or something else. And if I did, they'd get big results. So they would see the picture whether or not they saw it from me. They would see the credibility whether or not I had credibility. So let's start by talking about, a little congested, if you can tell by this, by all the flights that we were on. I don't know, 14 hours of flights yesterday, something like that. So, taking breaks as we go through this, some for you and some for me. But let's talk about why events first. Why events? And there's lots of different kinds of events. We'll talk about that in a moment, the different kinds. But for now, let's just talk about what events do generally, okay? One is they tell the story. When you go to an event, you hear the story of what's going on with the company. You hear the story of how to be successful. You hear the story of other people and what they're doing. You kind of see a bigger picture. And when I'm here at these boards, which camera am I looking at? Does it matter? Does it? Whichever one? Okay, cool. So one is the event itself tells the story. If you're not good at communicating, the event communicates. Second is a concept called social proof. If you're just one-on-one with somebody, you don't have social proof. And what social proof means, other people are doing it, other people are enjoying it, other people are having success, so maybe I could have success too. There's not enough social proof with just you. So if you have a small group, people can look around and say, are other people doing this? Are other people doing this? Because people want to follow the crowd. They don't want to be the first person doing something. So if there's a small group, if there's a bigger group, let's say it's 50 people in the room, they can look around and say, well, it looks like this is working. If there's 100 people, 500 people, they go, wow, this is something significant. If it's 2,000 people or 5,000 people at your company convention, they're like, oh my gosh. When we do our GoPro Recruiting Mastery events, the social proof of how many people in the room are earning money, how many people in the room are having success, how many people in the room are happy, it's excited, optimistic about the future. So social proof is big. It also tells a story. So it tells a story and social proof. The big human need is to see that it's working from somebody else or something else. Social proof. Next. Relationships are formed. Face-to-face changes relationships. Relationships are formed at these events. Relationships happen at these events. And sometimes people who they attend the session and they hear the story, but then they meet somebody in the hallway. They meet somebody at breakfast over coffee. They meet somebody at lunch. And they connect with somebody else, and that has even more social proof sometimes than the big room. Because we talk about it all the time. It's what happens in and around the event that is like the secret sauce. So relationships are big. You build friendships, you build relationships. That causes people to see a different picture than they normally would have seen. For example, if I bring you to an event, and you know me, whatever, we're friends. I bring you to an event, and I'm telling you about this opportunity. You're going to be going, yeah, but he has a ulterior motive. Eric wants to see me join because it's going to help his business. So there's a little bit of, I'm not sure. But if you meet somebody in the hallway or at breakfast that isn't connected to you financially, but they're attending the same event, and they tell you, oh my gosh, this is for real. Oh my gosh, Eric is a great guy. Oh my gosh, this company, this product, this service is amazing. Now all of a sudden, you're like, this third-party thing gives it more weight, gives it more social proof, gives it more credibility. These relationships and conversations are really, really big. If it's a destination event, it gets you or your team or whoever's attending away from the day-to-day grind. The day-to-day grind for most people is the thief of their opportunity. The grind of your daily to-do list, your grind of taking care of your house or taking care of your kids or driving people around, the grind of maybe your job outside of network marketing. When you get on an airplane and you head to a destination event from your company, you get on that airplane, you immediately are in another environment and you can start dreaming again. And you can focus on your dream. Just for 3 days, you can focus. When you go unplug for a day in your local community and go to a training, you allow your imagination to dream again. If you watch it online, you're immediately back into the distraction mode. Distractions all over the place, popping up on your computer. But when you get disconnected and you get away from your day-to-day grind, it's a huge value. Why else do events work? How can I say this? Helps develop leaders. It gives you an opportunity to step into a different level of leadership. And what I mean by that is you have to become something of a leader to invite people that end up attending. While you're at the event, you will be encouraged and rewarded for stretching into a different level of leadership with the team that you have there. Maybe even You'll be getting them together at breakfast or lunch, doing different things. We'll talk about that later, to communicate and inspire them while you're there. Maybe even you'll work yourself up to getting onto the stage and having an opportunity to present and show your team that you're a leader of value. So I've just seen over the years that events are as much a leadership development tool as a communication and training tool. Leaders are born at events. If you're taking notes, write this into the notes. Leaders are born at events. Leaders are born at events. Every major breakthrough that I've ever had in my network marketing career was at an event. I decided to go pro at an event. I decided that I was never going to miss an event at an event. I decided that I was going to bring more people at an event. I decided I was going to the next rank at an event. I decided I was going to be a $1 million earner at an event, right? I decided I was going to build a legacy. More than taking care of myself, I was going to focus on contribution at an event. So leaders are born at events. So the events tell the story. There's social proof. There's relationships away from day to day. It helps develop leaders. It's fun. It's an adventure. It's an adventure to get away. If you position it that way, if you look at it, let's go have an adventure. That's part of the reason that I was successful is, I had another one before I forget. It helps you create a stronger vision. So I use all of these things to promote. Once I understood why, the value, to tell the story, knowing that there was social proof, you're going to see in the room, you're going to get a stronger vision for this. You're going to build some relationships with like-minded people. You're going to get away from the day-to-day. You're going to, this event itself will help you become a stronger leader. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be an adventure. And you're going to see a bigger vision for yourself. So what I learned, and I will just tell you, the other reason for why, I'll do this in green because it's appropriate. If we talk about destination events, there's different kinds of events, but if we talk about like company conventions where you have to, an event where you have to leave your hometown and travel somewhere and stay in a hotel, you'll earn approximately $1,000 per person on your team per year that attend a major event, a destination event. If this isn't reason enough, there's a financial reason. Now, some people say, is that for real? $1,000 per year per person? The answer is yes. Now, it doesn't hold exactly. It's more of a rule of thumb than anything else, but here's what I would tell you. If you want to make, let's say, $25,000 a year, with that formula, what do you need to do? You need to figure out a way to get 25 people to your company convention, your destination event. Pretty simple, right? And do me a favor. Lisa at the beach asked me how I get that number. 30 years. How I get the number. Those of you that are watching this on the stream, tell me how many people you had on your team at your last company convention. How many people did you have from your team at your last company convention? Put it in the comments, please. I know there's a little delay, so I'll wait. Sarah in South Carolina said, I had 52 people with me last year, and I made just under $60,000 last year with my network marketing company. There's one example. Anders, 47, how much are you making? There in South Carolina, it's over 300 coming this year. Congratulations. So how many people did you have, and how much are you making? Pink Panther had 1. Pam Girth had 0. Fire Laser Char had 24. Gary had 10. Edka had 20. So put in your comments how many people and how much are you earning annualized. How many people and how much you're earning. Had 31 people at GoPro, you made 60,000. You'll probably make more per person for a person attending GoPro. 75, it made 60,000 the month of convention. None, and your business reflects this, that's all right. Put in the same comment, how many people and how much you making? How many people at the last convention and how much you make? Ten people, 5,000 a month. That's really, really way ahead of schedule, Gary. Congratulations. Now you want to keep that 5,000 a month. You need to get the number up to about 60. 8 people attended, made about 10,000. See what I'm saying? So here's what I will tell you. This number, this formula has held true for me for 30 years. So why is that? I don't know, and I don't care. I don't care why the light turns on when I flip the switch. I just know that it's real. Why does this happen? You know, I don't know if you need to take that class. What you need to know is that it happens. So here's the deal. 25,000, 25 people. You want to make 50,000 a year? What do you need to do? You need to figure out a way to get 50 people to attend an event. You want to make 100,000 a year? What do you need to do? Figure out a way to get 100 people. You want to make $1 million a year. You got to figure out a plan to get 1,000. You got to figure out a plan to get 1,000. Now, I've been seeing some people had less attending and they're making more income. Like Abdiraman, yeah, something like that. Abdiraman. He had 22. He's making 12,000 a month. You need to understand this. From time to time in network marketing, you might be in the right place at the right time. Your income might take a lucky jump. Everything's working. Like Preston had 2 people at the last event making 74,000 annually. Okay, it's whole team, not personally sponsored, whole team. One for Jackie had 1 person that made 7,000 last year. Here's what I'm saying. Your income might take a lucky jump, but if you don't become the leader and your team doesn't mature, your income's going to come down to this level. Given a long enough timeline, your income's going to come down to this level. So here's what I would tell you. If you're making, if you had 22 at the last convention, you're making $12,000 a month, which is what? 12,000 a month is what? 144,000? That sound right? So 144,000? Yeah, $144,000. You need to figure out a plan to get your team to 144 to just keep the $12,000 a month. Because if you don't, over a long enough timeline, that income is going to come back down to this number. So be excited, but also be nervous. Be excited that you're making more than $1,000 per person per year, but don't rest on it, because I've seen tons of people that had a spike in income and then they didn't focus on this, and then the leaders weren't developed and the group ended up falling back down on itself. Had 200 people at the last event making about 250,000. Thomas from New Jersey asked, so Eric, so you are saying this is a yearly practice to put into network marketing business, and in turn my team makes that kind of money for themselves too? The answer is yes. Your team will make this too, based upon the number of people they have on their team. Now there are exceptions, of course. If you have an organization where you need to build 3 lines of business in order to be able to activate the compensation plan, and you only have 1 line at the event, then it's going to be less than that. Okay. If you only sponsored 1 person, then that group took off, and there's 1,000 people attending the event, well, then you're going to have a lower number than that. But in a relatively balanced organization, over time, this number is going to hold pretty true. Empress said, I got a lucky jump for sure. Income is holding though, and this year conference is in 2 weeks. You're going to have hundreds this year. Fantastic. So just know that in all of these, this is, if you were a publicly traded company, I'll put it this way. If you were a publicly traded company, I would buy or sell your stock based upon, this would be one of the biggest numbers I would want to know. How many did you have at the last one? Yes, if you're selling, if you are a publicly traded company, yes, I only had 22 people, but I'm making $12,000 a month. I would say if you don't have a plan to get your numbers to 144, at least 144 at the next convention, I'm nervous about buying you, even though you're making $12,000. But if you could show me a plan that how you're going to get there and beyond there, now I'm excited to buy into the future for you. If you had one person, and if you're at zero right now, I've seen some people who are sitting at zero. Chattanooga says, I'm at zero. She's brand new. He or she's brand new. Well, welcome, first of all. And guess what's the first thing you got to do? You got to get a plan to get some to the next one. And then you're going to start the income process. And then from there to go from event to event to event to event. Got it? All right. So this makes sense? All of this makes sense, I hope. Anybody have any questions on this particular formula? Because this particular formula is a big deal. I'll wait for a second. If anybody has any questions on this. I'll get to how you're going to do it. Almost here, but moving. There you go. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name properly. Abdiraman? Yeah, something like that. He said, you're right this year. I'm going to take 150 with me. You know what I'm saying? Your income's going to go really, really big. How to build a plan. I'm going to teach you how to do that. I just want you to see if you understand the formula here. Okay, you understand why, and you understand the formula. Because once you understand this, it's a real driver. This is the best shortcut I know to be able to create an annual income and to hold the annual income over a long period of time. I will tell you also, this number is higher. Like if you bring people to a GoPro Recruiting Mastery event, that's a high event outside of your company convention, you'll probably make significantly more than $1,000 per person for the people attending that event. If you live in somewhere where you have to, it's very difficult to get a visa in order to travel to your company's convention, well then your number might be 3,000 or 4,000 for every person that you have to do that because the degree of difficulty is higher. If you live in South Africa or in Australia and you have to come to the United States in order to be able to get to an event, this number is going to be much, much higher. But generally around the world, this is what will work, okay? I think we got it. We got it. All right, cool. So, why events? All of these reasons, emotional reasons, leadership reasons, and then this is the big reason. $1,000 per person per year. Okay? So, let's talk about the different kind of events. Then we'll take a quick break. Let's start from big and go to small, okay? So you have your big company conventions. Big company conventions, this is an absolute priority. This must happen. You got to build this into your culture. We're going to talk about building this into your event culture. Then you have regional events where it might not be, it might be a drive instead of fly. The company might be doing regional events, or your leadership might be doing regional events. Third, there in many areas there's monthly local events. Maybe it's a Super Saturday type of an event. It's a one-day opportunity or one day training or a combination of both. You have weekly events. You have home events. You have more and more today online events. Zoom calls, Facebook Lives, Skype, right? All of these different kinds of events. And they have different strategies for recruiting to them. And I'm going to talk about the different strategies in our next hour. Or before we're done, I'm going to talk about different strategies. And then there are some industry events. I'll talk about the ones that we have. There's GoPro Recruiting Mastery. GoPro Recruiting Mastery we do once a year. You want to talk about building vision and social proof? Once a year. Our next event is December 4th through the 6th. I'm not sure if there's links on this page where you can learn more about it. But this is the events where we have, in the past, we've had people like Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, Pitbull, Robert Kiyosaki, Les Brown, you name it. This year, we're going to be announcing very soon a huge lineup of amazing speakers, plus $1 million earners, et cetera, et cetera. This is a huge belief-building tool, GoPro Recruiting Mastery. There's an event called The Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing, MPW. That's in April of next year, right? April of next year. And if you just ask somebody, ask one of the admins or whatever, if you want to learn more about that, that's in April of next year. That's a women's event. It's super, super awesome. Yeah, April 25th to the 27th, Paris Hotel. And then I have an event called Beyond Leadership. That's a leadership coaching event. I mean, so those are our events that we do. In addition, this one we're doing right now is an online event, right? You get people to attend this, you're going to do better. You're going to make more if people are attending an online event like this. So these are the different kinds. Big, down to, I mean, you could even say 2-on-1. It'd be a little 2-on-1 event, or 8, a 1-on-1. Inviting people to a 1-on-1 is something that will help you. So if you want to go small to big, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, online, home events, weekly events, monthly events, regional events, big company conventions. And then outside of company, but inside of a profession, GoPro Recruiting Mastery, Most Powerful Women, Beyond Leadership. That's what we do, okay? In addition to what we do monthly online with you inside of GoPro Academy. So this is why the events, these are the different kinds of events. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, I'm going to start to talk to you. I'm going to break down from event to event to event. I'm going to start with big company conventions, because that's such a powerful tool. Because you know, the 1,000 per person per year relates to big company conventions. It doesn't relate to a 1-on-1. It doesn't relate to your home meeting. You're not going to make as much per year from a person attending a home meeting as a prospect as you will somebody traveling to attend your company convention. So I'm going to talk about big company conventions first, and then we're going to move down the line and teach you how to invite to those functions and to get results. Okay? So we'll take a break. I don't know what time it is. Let me look. It's 12:33 my time. Let's take a break for about 7 minutes. Come back at 12:40 and we'll continue. Okay? Enjoy the break. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, module 2, session 2 of promoting events. We talked about why. We talked about this number. We talked about what you want to make and how you're going to get there. One of the guys on our crew here, he's building a team. He's got like 6 people going to his company convention. He's new, but he has 60 people on his team, and he's making way more than the $6,000 a year that is projected from the 6 people you got. I said, hey man, you gotta congratulations on the growth, but you gotta get this number in alignment with your goals, with the number of people that are attending. He said, yeah, I got it. I'm gonna make that happen. You need to do the same thing too. Couple quick questions that I saw in the chat, and if you ever have questions, throw it in the chat so I can answer it for you. Jackie says our company does not have a company convention. The field leaders put together 4 events per year. Where does this fit in? Same thing. It could be like a regional event like this. And if your company continues to not have a company convention, I would organize. If it was me, I would organize an annual big convention for my team, for everybody in the company, in order to be able to do it. Okay. John asks, is 1,000 US on one from the whole team or just the first line? It's for the whole team. The whole team. Every person on the team that attends your event. Okay, I think that's it. Questions. If you have any more, throw them in there. I'll answer for you. We talk about the different kinds of events. Now, let's start to break down what it takes for you to become effective at inviting to events, the general core principles. Yeah, that's that. Core principles, and then we'll get specific. 1, your belief in the event is critical. Your belief in the event is critical. Yeah, I got that one from Sarah. Bring that back to me later. We'll talk about it. Your belief in the event is critical. If you don't believe that this event is going to be powerful, you're not going to be effective in inviting people. If you don't believe it's going to be life-changing, you're not going to be effective. If you don't believe that for all these reasons that we discussed, it's going to be magical and it's going to be transformative for them, you're going to really struggle. So sometimes you need to work on your belief. And people get really cynical. Wow, look at what I did. Hold on, I'll fix it. All right. That's exciting, wasn't it? Live from our house. Huh? Problem solving. Yes. People get really cynical. I had a person, I'm doing, for example, I'm doing a live interview tomorrow with Les Brown. And Les is literally a living legend. And I'm doing this on Facebook. Those of you who are watching can come join. It's going to be 11 o'clock Pacific time. So 2 hours before this event started tomorrow. And Les Brown's a giant. We're going to just have a discussion and just hang out. So we're promoting this online. And people are like, oh, I'm sure Eric's going to be promoting some event. Everything is just all about promoting some event. And people get cynical, man. And my response to them is, yeah, guess what? I'm going to be promoting events for the rest of my life. You want to be connected to my community? I'm going to be promoting events. If you want to be connected inside of GoPro Academy, guess what I'm going to be promoting? Next month's live event online on how to solve problems. I'm going to be promoting the most powerful women in network marketing. I'm going to be promoting Beyond Leadership that I'm doing this summer. I'm going to be promoting GoPro Recruiting Mastery. You know why? Because the people who attend those events are going to have a life-changing experience. My belief is stronger than their cynicism. You're going to get cynics. You're going to get people on your team, oh, shut up. Shut up about the company convention. Come on, it's 9 months away. Blah, 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 blah. All he does is talk about next event. You got to say, yeah, that's what I do. That's what we do. This is the profession we've chosen. We build from event to event to event. And in order to do that, we need to have solid belief. Once you have solid belief, listen, my belief is stronger than your belief in not going. My belief in the event is stronger than your cynicism. My belief is stronger than your sarcasm. My belief is stronger than your conviction that it's not that important. My belief is stronger. This is my secret weapon. My belief is stronger. So, where are you when it comes to belief? Now, here's how, hello from North Carolina says, are we back? My videos are playing. Maybe refresh. Hello from North Carolina. Tell them to stop whining. Yeah, that helps. Where's I going with that? Where was I going with that? Belief? It was belief, but I can't remember. Slow today. Belief stronger than somebody else's. Yeah. That wasn't it. Huh? My secret weapon. Belief is my secret weapon. Yeah, that's for sure. It'll come back to me. So this is really, really big. Figuring out a way to build your confidence and build your belief and be stronger than anybody else. Once you do that, and once you kind of acknowledge the fact that sometimes you need to be stronger, sometimes you need to get some examples. I'll tell you what built belief for me. What built belief for me was a couple things. I'll share it over here. The very first event I attended, I was super excited. I was sitting up front, and I'm taking notes, soaking it all in. There's like 2,000 people in the room. Never forget, it was Denver, Colorado. And I got up from my chair. I needed to go to the bathroom. I held it as long as I could. I finally went to the bathroom, and I'm standing in the back. I'm standing next to a guy who was one of the top earners in the company, making like $60,000, $80,000 a month. This is back in 1988. Okay, big money. And I said, his name was David. I said, David, what's the secret to success in network marketing? He said, Eric, here's one thing. He said, see this room? Here's the room. Here's the stage. There's 2,000 people in this room. And the company did 3 of these events a year, every 4 months. He said, at the next event, Eric, half of these people won't come back. And the other half will be making 2 times the amount of and they'll be replaced by other people. Other people will come back. We'll still have 2,000 or more at the next one. But half of those people will come back for whatever reason. The other half that do are going to make twice the amount of everybody else. And he said it doesn't stop there. At the next event, half of that group won't come back. And this group will be making 4 times the amount of everybody else in the room. And after that event, just 1 year from now, half of that group won't come back. And this group will be making 8 times the amount. And at the next event, 4 months later, that half of that group, and then this group will be making 16 times the amount of the average of everybody in the room. So the first thing that happened to me for belief is, if I never miss an event, I'm going to win. 2 things I had to do in order to be successful. One was to never miss, and 2 was to get better every single, from event to event. And maybe a third. I'm going to give you 3. 1, attend every event. 2, get better between each event. And 3, bring more people from event to event. If I did those 3 things, eventually I'm up on stage. Eventually, I'm being recognized. Eventually, I'm moving to the top. So that's one thing that built belief for me. Talk about belief. Leaders attend events, and I'm going to outlast everybody else. And when somebody misses one, I'm going to say another one bites the dust, and I'm going to use that to build my strength. The other thing that built belief for me is the $1,000 formula results. Once I realized that this really held true, I was like, oh, okay, this is a big deal. This is important. That built belief for me. The next thing that built belief for me is my team results. Not just my own personal results, but my team getting results. In the form of expanding their vision, in the form of income, in the form of stepping into a different level of independence. That built results for them, which in turn inspired me. So outlasting people, $1,000 formula, team results, just kind of my own breakthroughs. Here's another one. Seeing what happened seeing how devastating, you got to hear me when I say this, how devastating it is when a person misses a convention. for their career, oh, it's brutal. If you hate them, go ahead and let them miss an event. If you love them, insist that they attend. When a person misses, and now it's like you got a rocket booster, right? It's going up into space. And you know how like when they sent that rocket booster up and they have that first thing and then one part falls off and then another part falls off and the rest keeps going. It's like when a person misses an event, it's like they fell off. It's like they were the last car on the train and they decoupled. Now the train keeps accelerating and they're falling back, and it's so hard for them to get back. They lose so much momentum by missing one single event. They get their feelings hurt, so they don't attend. They're mad at their upline, so they don't attend. Somebody has a birthday party, so they don't attend. They're like, oh my gosh, it's the same old thing. I've heard it 5,000 times, and they miss the whole point, so they don't attend. Say to their leader, oh, just bring me the notes. Oh, it's brutal. So seeing this and not wanting my people on my team to experience that pain caused me to promote harder and have a stronger belief. Just need to believe bigger. Believe bigger than anybody else. This is criteria number one. You want to be successful at promoting events. Is your belief's got to be rock solid. And if you don't really have, borrow my belief for a moment. I mean, if you're not 100% there, just say, hey, Eric told me I needed to outlast them. Eric told me about this formula. Eric told me about the team results, personal breakthroughs. Seeing other people miss was really, really painful because some of you haven't seen somebody on your team miss an event yet. Really, really painful. So I'm just going to have faith in this and I'm going to step forward. In the meantime, that's fine. So core principle number one is belief. Core principle number two. Is what is your story about the event? What is your story? When you sit down with somebody and they've joined your team, let's say they just joined your team. I got Alex here who has 60 people on his team. One of the things that he missed, and he's just starting, I'm looking under the monitor to tell him, sorry, he's just starting, you need to immediately tell a story to every person on your team. So he has 60 people on his team right now. You need immediately, and you still have time to be able to get people to this conference, which is in a couple weeks. You need to tell the story as to why this event is critical. Why? Why should they take their time out of their schedule? All the things that we talked about. What is your story? If this is a commercial, it's going to play in the Super Bowl. What's the commercial? It's going to be learning. It's part of the story. Growth. Recognition. Fun. Adventure. Meet leaders. Stretch. Grow. Right? You deserve it. Let's go. Right? And there's announcements. All this stuff you can put into your story. Okay, let me tell you why this is really important that we're going to this conference, which is going to be in September. We're going to learn so much. We're going to fill up our notebook. We're going to come back with the information necessary to own our town, own our city, own our state, own our region, own our country. Let's go do this. We're going to grow together from this experience. It's going to be an adventure. I know it's hard to understand it, but let's go have an adventure together. There's going to be recognition. We're going to meet the top leaders, the corporate people, and the top earners. We're going to pick their brain. We're going to get all the announcements coming from the company. We're going to grow. You deserve this. Let's go stretch. Let's go do something amazing. Are you in or are you out? See, if I tell a story about the event, whatever the event is, if I tell a story about a regional event, if I tell a story about a GoPro Recruiting Mastery, if I tell a story about Most Powerful Women, if I tell a story about the company convention, it's way better than saying, there's an event. It's going to be in 2 weeks. Come if you have the time. So, because here's the thing. I'll put it over here. Inside of GoPro, you hear me talk a lot about posers, amateurs, professionals. Posers announce an event. Hey, there's going to be an event. It's going to be in Salt Lake City. It's going to be in the middle of June. That's what posers do. They announce it. Amateurs invite. Hey, come with me. Join me. It'll be fun. Professionals promote. They promote. They're relentless. They promote it like a movie. They promote it like a Broadway show. They promote it like an album release. They promote it like a major, like the World Cup. They promote it and promote it and promote it. That's what professionals do. Amateurs invite, posers announce. So a professional tells a story. Amateurs tell a little bit of a story with the invite. Professionals tell a big story with promotion. Posers just announce it. Hey, there's this event. If you have the time, join us. You know, it's going to be in September. It's going to be in November. It's going to be in February. Just wanted to make you aware. In case you didn't have anything else going on. Felt like spending some money, traveling across the country, you know, for no good reason. Then here's this event. Company's going to have it. So, Vegas Steve, jet lag sucks. I agree, right? Brain's not working today. It's working in spurts, though. And I will tell you, with half my brain tied behind my back, I can still think of it. So, in spurts, there's going to be some good stuff. Later, we'll edit all of this other stuff where my brain disappears and leaves my body, right? Okay. Team is amused. Let me check notes real for a second. Bigger picture, yes. When is it okay to accept a no from a distributor about attending an event? For example, they won't be allowed by their boss to take time from work no matter how hard they try. We'll talk about that in a bit. You said you make $1,000 for every teammate. How much do you add personally to your income? Quite understand, but you make $1,000 per person per year for every person attending your event generally. Okay, so what does someone do when they're first starting? They have very little money, yet they're very highly motivated to build and win. This is a real reality out there. What's your thoughts? I'll tell you about that, Chuck, because I lived it. Okay, so one is belief, second is story. So here's an assignment for all of you. What's your story for your next company convention? What are the benefits people are going to receive if they attend? Why should somebody move something around in their schedule? If it's difficult for them and they can't afford it right now, how do you help that person see the value in going to the event anyway? Okay, so what is your story? That's an assignment for you. Write it down. I must create a story for my next company event. So that's element number 2. Belief is 1, story is 2. Third, repetition. Repetition. You can't just, if somebody's promoting a movie, do they just promote it one time? They go on, The Tonight Show, and they promote it one time, that's it? Or do they promote it everywhere they possibly can? If they're promoting a Broadway show, do they promote it just one time? Or do they promote it every week? Promotion, 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 promotion. Repetition is critical. You see this with like advertising principles. It used to be that a person would need to see an advertisement like 30 to 50 times before they take action. 30 to 50 times before they say, okay, I'm going to buy. 30 to 50 times before they say, okay, I'm going to try it. Now it's hundreds because of social media. There's so much bombardment. You need to see it. You need to see some social proof. You start seeing it more and more and more. Then you remember, you see this thing online, you go, oh, that looks interesting. You see it again, you see it again, you see it again, you see it. It must be working. Social proof starts to kick in. Curiosity starts to kick in. Maybe you should click on this. No, not yet. You see it another 10, 20 times, and eventually you click on it. Okay, repetition is really, really critical. When we talk to prospects, it takes 4 to 6 exposures for a prospect to make a decision about joining your network marketing business. Inside of inviting to events, it's also a process of 4 to 6 exposures. You ask a person, hey, I want you to go to this event with me in September. And they say, I'm not sure. I got to talk to my spouse. They give you all the objections. So then you come back again. Come on, we got to make this happen. You come back again. Here's another reason why you need to go. You come back again. Here's some other people that are doing this. You come back again. Over and over and over and over until they realize, wow, you're serious about this. This wasn't just something you were just talking about. You weren't kidding. Yeah, it takes repetition. You have to be, I can't tell you, I had this person online just a couple days ago just saying, oh God, Eric, shut it when it comes to the event. Would you just give us some training and forget about always promoting the next event? I'm like, look, I want to be promoting events for the rest of my life. I learned to not give a shit about what other people were saying when it was something that my belief was stronger than theirs. So I was going to repeat it until, because here's what I know. Listen to me when I say this. If you have somebody on your team that does not attend events, they will not stay in your business. They do not attend the event. They will quit. They will get distracted. They'll find something else to do. They won't ever know that it wasn't because they attended the event. If you don't care about your distributor, allow them to not attend your company event. If you want to see them succeed, my belief got so strong over time that I just wouldn't spend that much time. I love people, but I wouldn't spend that much time with them if they weren't attending the events. Because it just was a bad investment of my time. I invested all of my time with people who were attending the event. That's where the value came from. Renee T says, I love events, but is the industry changing where we can learn online and multiply faster? Online, definitely. There's no question online creates speed, but leaders are born at events. Online creates velocity, but leaders are born at events. There's no question you can get scale online, but stability and strength over the long term comes from events. I'll give you an example. There's a company I work with in Europe that really strong when it comes to their product, really strong when it comes to the basic elements of growing their business. Their corporate office is good. They've been around for up till 3 years ago. They've been around about 12 years. They had a certain level of success, and they brought me in to help them at I did a leadership event for them for 3 days for their top 300 people, something like that. And they were like, oh my gosh, our people need this so bad. So would you come back and do our convention? So I trained at their convention like 5 hours a day for 3 straight days at their convention. And they had about 1,800 people at that very first one. And I taught them the company itself. I taught them a concept of how to promote from event to event, how to make this a priority. Okay, and they took it seriously. And I came back 6 months later. They had 4,000 people. 6 months after that, they had 6,000 people. 6 months after that, they had 12,000 people. And over the course of 3 years, which is what? 2 a year, 3 years, 6. Only 6? 6 events. They went from 1,800 to this last event. We had 18,000 people twice. And 36,000 people. Okay? Now they have a bunch of people who join their business. They have, call it 80,000 active distributors in their business. And they had almost 40,000, almost 50% of those people attending the event. You know how strong their culture is? You know how strong their training is? You know how fast they're growing right now? They're just a rocket ship. Why? Yes, they use online stuff. But the events themselves have created their own momentum. They sold out 36,000 for 2 events in Poland in September. They had the first event that they sold out 18,000 tickets in 22 minutes. And the second event, I think they sold 14,000 tickets in 20 minutes. So what is that? 32,000? 32,000 tickets sold in a total of 40 minutes? Unbelievable. Why? Because we built a culture around it. Now, what does that do for the online people? Use online for scale. Use online for growth. Use online for recruiting and building, but don't neglect the event. I'm telling you, if you neglect the event, you lose out on your leadership growth capacity. My belief is super strong on that, and I hope you get super strong on that. Sarah W. says, we have 2 big events a year and a few smaller ones in between. Do we wait for one to finish before promoting the next, or always keep the big events on the radar? Good question. Excellent question. I'll tell you what I do. You always go with major event to event. If your company does 2 a year, as an example, don't promote both. Promote the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. Now, if you have smaller events, you can use those as stepping stones to the big finale. Let's say it's in September. Smaller events lead to the big, boom, September. And then after that, you promote the next one. You have your little events in between, okay? Big event, promote, big event, promote. Other events you can promote in between, but it's all in direction of getting you to that next major event. Hope that answers the question. Percentage-wise, how many did you shoot for to get to a company convention? I will just tell you, this company has like 50% of their active distributors attending their events, which is a crazy huge number. My answer to you, Sarah, is as many as you can. As many as you can. Just make sure your goal is to increase the number from event to event to event. Increase the number from event to event to event. Have that tied to your income goals. And of course, I mean, you can use these online events that we do inside of GoPro Academy as events between events that you can use with your team to promote people to attend here, to be able to learn, to be able to grow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So repetition's next. How are we doing on time? Going to your first event summits. Next year they're going to a bigger stadium. That's true. Megan says, I neglected the event multiple times. I lost almost my whole team in 3 years, so I'm a huge believer in events now. Yeah, you don't want to go through the pain of this. My team took 500 on this event and changed our business. Congratulations, Peter. You think there's a difference between European mentality and American mentality? Not really. Not really. People like to tell me all the time, oh, it's different in Germany, different in Prague, it's different in China. Not really. We'll talk about it again, so I'll get there. Not at that part yet. Getting no chance. It's different in the United States. It's different in South America. There's little cultural differences, but here's the truth. Getting people to attend events is a skill that is so high paying that even in today's distracted world, when people want to sit at home in their pajamas on their laptops, you know, if we were doing this live, if all of you were sitting in my house, we were doing this live, it'd be a different experience. If we're in a conference and we're going through this, it'd be a different experience. It would, for sure. Just the interaction, everything else, than me just sitting there and occasionally checking your email, occasionally checking your Facebook while I'm talking in the background. It's different. It just is. All right, so repetition. Next. Problem solving. You want to become a good presenter? Inviter? Learn how to solve problems. Now, let's list some of the problems that people give you when they say they can't attend the event. List them in the comments, please. I'll wait for you, because there's a little bit of a delay on the comments. So what are some reasons why people say, I can't attend the event? Can't do it. What's some of the problems? I'll write them down. How long is the delay? 30 seconds? 30 seconds? 20 seconds? All right. Tell me. Have to work. What else? Don't have the money. Child care. So, husband just died. Husband died. What else? Family obligations. Bring me the notes. Just had a baby. Surgery. I already attended. I attended last year. Did already. Spouse won't let me. Hate crowds. First trip. Huh? Afraid of planes? Afraid of flying. Work, money, too busy. No vacation time, can't get off work. Visa. Already attended, can't get that. Financial issues, kids starting school, no money, work, blah, blah, blah. My husband didn't let me. Damn. Not important. I'm already spending too much time away from my family. Family time. Money. Boring speakers, I already know it. They're attended already. Mow the lawn. Have to get my nails done. Ed says. Child's birthday, I already know the material. Caregiver, family issues. Bored, I know everything. No passport. Watch online. Why pay the amount? Don't want to go by myself. Busy. Can't go until I hit a certain rank. Not up? Okay. Pretty good list, yeah? You agree that's a pretty good list? How many times do you think I've heard these things in 30 years? Approximately. I've heard them all. I've heard them all. I've heard them all. Now, thank you for your feedback, by the way. I'm not earning enough to go. When I get to a rank, I'll go. We'll cover all that. The problem-solving, objection overcoming issue here, principle number one is this. In order for you to help them pass this issue, what's the best way for them to get past this issue? First, why they can't, almost all the time, why they must. This is my core belief. Why they can't is why they must. That's my core belief. They don't have the money, that's why they must. They have child care issues, that's why they must. Your husband died, that's why you must. You've attended already, that's why you must. You hate crowds, that's why you must. Visa, I mean, we can put an asterisk next to this one and say if you can't get a visa, you shouldn't probably take a boat and try and sneak around on a raft. You should make sure you get your visa. But if you need more family time, that's why you must. You got a fear of flying, that's why you must. Let's get it over with. If your spouse won't let you, that's why you must. You got surgery, that's why you must. If you just had a baby, that's why you must. Just bring me the notes, that's why you must. Family obligations, that's why you must. That's my core belief. My core belief is whatever reason you can't is why you must. I don't tell them that, but that's my belief. Okay? That's my belief. Now, second part of the solution. Stories. Stories. You need to develop a story for every single one of these objections, and that's all they are. It went from objections of them being a prospect to objections once they join the business. The objections didn't stop, they just changed. How many of these same objections are the objections that people had for not joining your business in the first place? Same list, pretty much. I don't have the money. Gotta work. Got childcare. Right? Not a salesperson. More family time. Same thing. So here's what I do. 4 steps in answering any objection. The 4 steps are: 1, to listen; 2, to relate to them; 3, to tell stories; 4, if I would you. Listen, relate, tell stories, and if I would you. Listen, relate, tell stories, ask a question. Listen, relate, tell stories, ask a question. So, for example, they say I have to work. I listen. I say, so what does that mean? You have to work. I just don't get enough time off, and I got a vacation planned with the kids, and I got to figure this out. I said, you have sick days? Tell me what this means. I mean, you cannot get off. You can't get a person to take your time. I mean, I really examine and make sure I listen to them. And then I relate to them. Point number 2. Relate to them is like, listen, I understand that this is a commitment. This is another step. When I first took a look at going to my convention, when I had work obligations, I was stressed out because I'm like, what if this doesn't work out? I've used up some vacation time, or I've stressed the relationship at the office, or Now I owe somebody because they took over my shift for me or whatever. And I was freaking out over the risk and reward of doing this. But let me tell you what I found. And then I tell them the story. I realized that if I didn't change, if I didn't do something, I didn't stretch, I didn't grow. I heard so many people went to this event, changed their life. I want to change my life. And I want to be able to have more freedom in the future. And since leaders are born in an event, I want to be a leader inside this business. I decided that I was going to get creative. I realized that it wasn't that the work was the issue. My creativity was the issue. I could find somebody to take the time. I could ask for particular grace in order to be able to have an extra day. I could use my vacation time, understanding that this was an investment into my future. I'd call in a sick day if I had to. If I had it in my policies and procedures, a personal day if I had to. If I had it and I was legally able to do it, I was going to do it. Because my future was worth it. My future was worth it. So I don't tell them this story. I tell them about myself. Here's what I realized for me. Right? Best decision I ever made. So then it goes to the question. If I could show you how to get creative and get resourceful and figure this work thing out, would you be willing to explore that with me and make every possible attempt to make this event a reality? And they'll say almost all the time, yeah, sure, okay, fine. Because my belief is so strong in them, my belief is so strong. If I tell people all the time, if I hated your guts, I would just let you have whatever reason for not attending the event. Just let you stay home. Because I know that in the future, you're going to have a problem. But if I love you, I'm not going to let some little thing get in the way, like child care. I'm not going to let child care get in the way of your future. We can get creative and solve that problem. We can figure out a way. We can find a babysitter. We can get a relative to drive in from some other place. We can find a friend that we trust. We can bring the child with us if we had to. We can find a way. Person says, I don't have the money. Listen, I get it. When do you think the money thing's going to start for you? The first time I looked at this, I didn't have the money either. Now, you can either tell your story or tell how you overcame your belief. In my case, I could tell the story. The first conference I went to, I drove from Minneapolis to Denver, Colorado with 3 other people in the car. We carpooled the entire way. We shared one hotel room. We went to the grocery store and made sandwiches and filled bottled water from the drinking fountain. We had no money. But one, I figured out if I could get creative and make an adventure out of this, I was going to do it. And 2, it was fun. When I think back of those memories, it was fun to just stretch and grow and be scrappy and creative. There's times when I've slept in my car. There's times when I went 8 people in a van, 12 hours each way to go to an event. I've done things. There's times when I registered for an event on a credit card because I didn't have the money. And then I recruited my way to the event. In other words, I had to build a team in order to be able to get the bonuses necessary to afford the trip. But I decided first, and then I figured out the solution second. So if a person says, I've got childcare, let's get creative. Most of this, I'm telling you, most of problem solving is just belief. It's just belief. If your belief is stronger, they'll figure it out with you. A person would on my team, I always told my team, if anybody in your group, when you're talking about the event, if they say they can't go, have them talk to me. People would get them on the phone with me, and I would say, I hear you don't think that you can go to the event. Why not? And they say, well, I've got a child care issue. I have a birthday party. And listen, I want to see you win. The people who are going to attend this event are going to win. They're going to be 3 to 6 months ahead of somebody else. Do you want to be 6 months behind? They say no. You want to be ahead, right? Yes. So listen, let's not let this little objection of a birthday party, that's movable. If you were a professional athlete and game day was somebody else's birthday, you'd probably do the birthday on another day and they'd understand. You just need to let everybody know that this is important. Yes, I know it's your birthday. It's spectacular. We'll celebrate early. We'll celebrate later. We'll figure out a way to make it happen. Diane says we hold multiple association garage sales for a few weeks prior to the event to help raise money for the event. Some people took a loan to go to a first event, right? So with any of these things, if it's childcare, come on, let's solve the problem. I have people come to me all the time. I have a child, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. And we would work together, and we make a bunch of lists of what are all the options. We write down all the options, and we get creative, and we solve the problem. We solve it. If the husband died, would the husband want you to move forward and be a legacy and create a better future in his honor? Do it for him. Create contribution legacy for him. Come and tell the story about what you're prepared to do. Now, if it's the day after, I get it. But if it's 6 months after, maybe it's time to honor that person, whoever that person is that's passed. Honor them by you stepping into a higher level of yourself. You know how many people I know that had a baby and came to the event with a baby, or they're 9 months pregnant, came to the event and totally changed their lives? The number is enormous. Somebody says, just bring me the notes. I just say, look, if I didn't care about you, I would just say, fine, I'll bring you the notes. But I care about you. All that person is saying is, you haven't shown me enough reasons why this is big. A person says, I've seen this before, it's the same old stuff. I said, listen, it's not all about you. It's about you and your team. Repetition is the mother of skill. You don't learn something when you remember it. You learn something when you can't forget it. I know that you're operating at a small percentage of your potential. How long do you want to operate at a small percentage of your potential? You want to step through it, go to the next level? Or do you want to stay where you're at? Here's what I believe. When I started getting bored with this, I realized that there was a method to repetition. I realized that I needed to look at it with fresh eyes. I realized that I needed to go in like a student again and take notes again instead of being too cool. I realized that I needed to bring more people and pour myself into other people instead of just being all about me, me, me. All of these things. If you're afraid of flying, then drive. Or face the fear. Do it anyway. We were flying yesterday. We're getting ready to leave Prague yesterday. I don't know if you want me to tell the story, but I'll tell the story anyway. So we're flying private. We have a private jet that takes us from Prague to London. And then we fly commercial back from London. And we get on this plane, and there is a storm coming in. I mean, it is coming in. And one of the people who works on our team, her name is Sandy, she has already pulled out the alcohol because she is not liking flying at all. Not even a little bit. So she is just like, oh, God, please. And Marina, who doesn't love flying either, we're on a 6-8 person jet. It is dark clouds. There's one little sliver of light in front of us, and we're waiting on the runway to be able to figure this out, and lightning starts. And the pilot looks back at us and says, well, what do you think? And I'm like, go, let's go. We got to get back home because I got to talk to these people and go for academy tomorrow. So rain starts pouring down, lightning striking, and man, we're taking off going through this stuff, and boop, we popped through the clouds, and literally we were the last plane to take off before they shut down that airport. Now, the lesson is there a lesson in there other than this story? What's the lesson? Yeah. Face your fear and do it anyway, unless it's really crazy. So we've done that a couple times in our life, taking off in little slivers. But boom, you get above the clouds and wow, this was cool. We're back here, we make it all happen. If you're afraid of flying, understand, usually that's something that you're anticipating that isn't real, that you need to deal with anyway. It's probably attaching other parts to your business. Let's explore this together. Let's have a little support group work with you on that airplane in order to be able to get through it. Your spouse, surgery, reschedule surgery if you can. If you hate crowds, look, you got to face this issue. I'm not the biggest crowd person either. I want you to understand this. Some people say, "Well, I'm just not a people person. I'm an introvert. I'm not crazy about crowds." Here's what I will tell you. I'm not crazy about crowds either. I'd much rather be in my house than be in a big group of strangers. Much rather. But I learned to psych myself up for 3-4 days and be on, 100% on. If I was out there, I was going to be 100% on for 3-4 days, then I'd rest afterwards. So if I could mentally prepare, and I learned to use that same strategy in growing my business. I would prepare and then have a burst of recruiting. And I love the relationship part, but trying to recruit a stranger or somebody who isn't focused on network marketing, that was my favorite part of it. But I learned the same principle, which is like taking off and getting through the clouds or psyching myself up for 3-4 days. So I would tell these stories for people on any of these things, right? It's about being resourceful. And it's about, in every conversation, listen, in every conversation, somebody's selling something and somebody's buying something. People that are giving you these, they're trying to sell you that childcare is a bigger problem than attending the event. They're trying to sell you that having no money is an excuse for not attending. They're trying to sell you that their spouse won't let them go. They're trying to sell you that they hate crowds. They're trying to sell you that they attended already and that this isn't important. They're trying to sell you that they have work issues. They can't get time off work. They're trying to sell you all this thing. For every one of these things, I have thousands of people who solve the problem with the same exact circuit. Right? So if they sell you, that's and you buy it, you go, yeah, I guess so. That's what the weak people in my team did. People come to me and say, they don't have the money. What can I do? I said, you let them sell you on the fact that they don't have the money. Will this event help them make more money? Will attending this event help cause them to make less, not attending, cause them to make less money? Yes, and yes. Is it going to build their belief? Yes. It's going to build their vision? Yes. Are they going to learn something? Yes. Are they going to meet other people? Yes. Are they going to have a better chance for a breakthrough? Yes. So why are you buying this story? That they don't have a few $100s to be able to attend. Don't let them sell you. You're supposed to be the leader. You sell them as to why this is important. I learned to push hard. I was relentless. I was obnoxious because a person telling me 2 years later saying, you know what, you were right, I should have attended. It's too late. They lost 2 years. I'm going to promote before it's too late. I'm going to solve the problem with them before it's too late. And frankly, I'm going to talk to you about using some persuasion skills in the next segment. You have to bring everything to bear to get past this list. You have to provide a solution. Why they can't is why they must. Listen, relate, tell stories, and then buy with you. All right? Time's at 1:35. Let's take a break for another 5 minutes, and we'll come back and talk about how to turbocharge this stuff, and then we'll get into breaking down the other event. Okay? See you in 5 minutes. All right, you ready to go? All right, we're ready. Now, we talked about why events. We talked about some core principles. Belief is one. Your belief is critical. Your belief is strong enough, everything will take care of itself. Your story, the story as the fundamental story of your event is very, very important. Repetition. You got to pound on it for forever, building from event to event, and problem solve. Okay? These are the 4 principles so far. Then, what are we, number 5? Leadership, when it comes to this, it's really about your commitment. Your commitment to the event itself. Your commitment is critical, okay? If you're committed to making this happen, then you'll make it happen. If you solve the problems, in anything, it's just a problem to solve. You know, you're saying, well, how am I going to get 100 people at the event? Well, if you want to get 100 people at the event, and you have some options, right? Option 1, 100 people. Option 1 is you could recruit and invite 100 yourself. That seems hard. Option 2, you could get 5 people who each get 20. That'll get you to 5 people on your team, each get 20. You and 4 other people, each bring 20 from your team. That's another way you can go. Another way you can go is you can get 10 people to each get 10. Or you could get 20 people to each get 5. You can get 30 people on your team to each get 3. You can get 50 people on your team to each bring 2. Solve the problem. You can solve it by doing a lot here. You can solve it by bringing in some leaders and encouraging them to do it. You can solve it by getting more people to do a little bit less. You can solve it by a combination. Maybe you get a few people get 20, some people get 5, some people get 2, and you bring a bunch. Yeah? So solve problems. Set an expectation that this is important. Let people on your team know that if you're part of this team, go to the event. You hear me, Alex? If you're part of this team, you're part of the 60, you need to be at this event. This is critical. Set the expectation. It's not an exception when somebody comes. It's an exception when somebody doesn't. That's how important it is. Okay, set the expectation. Next. I use peer pressure, positive and negative. I use peer pressure. Why? Because my belief in them attending the event is super important. So I use all the tools at my disposal, emotional and otherwise, in order for people to attend the event. So what's some ways that you could use peer pressure to promote your company convention? You could post a list of all the people who are attending the event from your team. You could post another list of people who've chosen not to attend. And what would that do? That would immediately put a spotlight on the issue, make people want to go from one group to another group. It's a process of what I call inclusion and exclusion. And what I mean by this is, if you register for the event, we're buddies, we're friends, we're talking, I see you, we get a big hug. If you don't attend, if you're not planning to attend the event, I can't have a lot of time for you. And the reason why is you're a dead man walking. You're probably not going to be around. So I love you. If you attend, I'd love to be able to hang out more. But it's really that important that you attend. So you're like, I can't believe you use peer pressure? That seems like manipulative. If you want to call it that. Here's what I will tell you. Every culture in the world has created a culture using these tools. You go into the military, it's an expectation that you're going to do this. There's peer pressure, because if you don't do what you need to do, the whole platoon has to do push-ups. The whole platoon misses their day off. So there's peer pressure for you to be able to be involved. There's inclusion. There's recognition. We're going to recognize people who are registered for the events, and by default, we're not going to recognize people who aren't going to the event. Okay? Building a sense of identity and adventure around this is what leaders do. I'll give you an example. There was a great example of leadership at this event that I just did in Prague 2 days ago. There was one group that in this section of this arena, they all had orange t-shirts on. And it reminded me of campaigns that I had, which is another element here. Campaigns that I created around events. What I would do is I would name the campaign. It would be the March to this. It would be the 100 days to that, or it would be Breakthrough, or whatever we wanted to call it. And this group was from Italy at this event, and they all had orange t-shirts on, all of them. And it had something on the back that said, never quit, or something like that. Never quit. And something else that I don't remember, but never quit, I remember from being on the back of these t-shirts. And it reminded me of some of the campaigns that I've done in the past, which were, let's show up with our company flag, our country, or our state flag. Let's show up with our team logo. Let's show up with our t-shirts representing. I mean, this section, if I could show you pictures, during the breaks, like at a sports event, they had huge flags that would cover the whole section with the Italian flag, 3 of them stacked on top of each other, where they were floating this flag over and above the thing. They got recognized by everybody. All the speakers were all kind of directing towards them. They had a sense of pride. It was really, really fun. So I've done that. We've done scarves. We've done T-shirts. We've done special hats. We've created special pins. We had armbands that we used when we did a ski trip, so everybody could see who we were out on the slopes. We did it. We had little flags. We had noisemakers. We did all kinds of stuff, and people got excited being a part of that campaign. Everybody in this arena, I promise you, that I was just in, was wishing they were part of that group, because that group was having more fun. That group was really going after it. So create a campaign. What's a campaign? That and come up with a name for it, and come up with things that you're going to do in it. Create a team site, a private Facebook page for your group of just people who are attending the event, and bring them some value. Provide some recognition in there. Come up with some contests. The first people to get 10 people registered for the event is going to win. Come up with some incentives. Big one is events around events. Now, I'll give you an example on events around events. Your company convention might be boring. Maybe it's boring. That doesn't mean it's not important. Maybe they provide a lot of data and information, but not necessarily a lot of training. Your team needs training. That's great. Use the event, the convention itself, as a centerpiece, and then create events around the event. I will tell you what I would do. I would make sure my team stayed in the same hotel. I would have an event the night before the company convention for like 3 hours with my entire team. And I would just prep them on how to maximize the experience that they're about to go into. And they'd have a sense of team pride. And we're going to go in there. We're going to be sitting up front, and we're going to be excited. We're going to be wearing, flying our flags, and we're going to be using our noise making stickers. We're going to be doing whatever. We got our pins on, whatever we're going to do. Okay. And then during the event, there might be some receptions for people who brought 10 to the convention, or people who brought 20, or special recognition around people who rank advancers, those types of things. If you get a suite in the hotel, invite people to that suite different times. And then after the event is over, I always did a wrap-up event. So let's say the event starts on Saturday night, or stops on Saturday night. Sunday morning from like 9 to noon, before everybody flies out, I would have a recap where I would say, here's all the information that we learned. Here's what we're going to do with it. And I'd recognize people, get people on stage and doing that. So whether it's cocktail parties, receptions, recognition parties, pre-events, post-events, getting together and just having a party during the event. All of those things will build your team stature and give people other reasons to come, other reasons to be a part of it. So campaigns, communication, contests, incentives, events around events, recognition, exclusion, inclusion, peer pressure, expectations, problem solving, commitment, belief, all of these things will combine to you being more successful at getting people to attend events. But it all comes from belief. If you just make this decision, then you set a goal. Let's go to point number 6. You set a goal. Next convention. What's your goal? What's the number? What's the date? And what's the number? How many are you going to have? Inside of GoPro Academy, here's the reason for creating GoPro Academy. I want there to be more millionaires created out of this group than any group ever created in network marketing. What is necessary for that to happen is for you all to get serious about picking this date. Okay? Get serious about picking this date and picking this number. And then at that event, you got to promote the next event. And then pick that number. This number just needs to be bigger than that one. And the next one needs to be bigger, the next one needs to be bigger, the next one needs to be bigger. One more thing that I would give you on this, and then we'll start breaking down the different kinds of events. Details are everything. You want to become a world-class promoter? Details are everything. If a person tells you they're going to attend the event, does that mean they're going to attend? The answer is no. It does not mean they're going to attend. Most people are going to lie to you, or most people are going to say whatever is convenient when you're with them, and then they're not going to take action. Once they don't take action, procrastination kicks in. Then they're not going to. They don't move it forward. They say, "Oh, I'll do it later," and it's over. So details are critical. But detail number 1, their ticket, their convention ticket. Do they have it? Have them send you a screenshot. 3-way them into the company. They say, yeah, they're going to get it. You say, well, why don't we get it right now? You pick up the phone. You say, let's call the company right now. Let's get your tickets. How many are you going to need? Need your tickets? Okay, let's go. Hold on 1 second. You're on the phone right now. Hold on. Let's just call the company. Hello, customer service. Hi, John here, and John needs 2 tickets to the event. John, you go ahead and take it from there. Go ahead and give me your information. John's going to book 2 tickets now because I made sure it happened. Or I say, do it and send me a screenshot. Show me that you did it. Provide an assignment. Assignment's critical. Number 1's the ticket. Number 2, hotel. Same thing. Do you have your hotel booked? No, I'm thinking about that. I'm going to do it at some point. I'm thinking about it. Well, we're all staying at the Marriott. We have a room block. Do you want to get a room? They said, yeah. Hold on a second. And you call the Marriott. Say, hi, I'm with one of my colleagues. We're coming to the convention in September, and he would like to get a room at the Marriott. And I just wanted to connect the 2 of you. John, go ahead and give him your information. Well, John's like, well, shit, I guess I got to book a room. Right? This is what I did for 20 years, 25 years. I just did not accept somebody's story. I made sure that they booked it. Get your ticket, get your hotel, and prove it to me, or I'll do it with you. Then transportation. Do you have your airline? How are you going to get there? You're going to drive? You're going to fly? You're going to take a bus? What are you going to do? I'm going to fly. Well, hold on a second. What airline are you going to use? Let me look it up. Let me see. We just found cheap flights. Here's the best flight that we found. It's on this and this and this airline. Let me send you a link. Let's get it done. Other people told me they couldn't do it. You know, one thing that I did for years, is we would book bus tours, big Greyhound buses, big tour buses that could hold 50 people really comfortably, TV monitors, nice air conditioning, beverages on there. And they would drive 8 hours together or 12 hours together as a group, and it would cost them like $50. $50 each way to get there, sometimes even less. But $50, yeah. They drive down, they go to the event, they're like, oh, they say, I can't afford an airline ticket. Well, can you afford $50? Let me get you a ticket. What's your credit card? What's your PayPal? Let's get it done. Boom. Okay? So it's detail to make sure these are done. Then you want to make sure they know the agenda and special events. Then they want to make sure any team stuff. We're all going to get there early. We're all going to be sitting in this section. We're all going to be wearing our t-shirts. We're all going to be having our flags. Make sure you have your noisemakers, whatever it happens to be. So I would just go through details. Pop, 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 pop. That's how I get more people to attend events than other people. Really simple. The details are everything. The details are everything. Remember I said the posers announce, the amateurs invite, the promoters promote, or professionals promote. And this is part of promotion. Just lock it down, lock it down, lock it down, lock it down, lock it down. Okay? All right. Let's take our last break. 5 minutes. When we come back, I'm going to break down how to use the same concepts in detail to get people to attend your regional events, your local events, your monthly events, your home events, 2-on-1s, 1-on-1s, all of that. How to get more people to attend those events in our last section. We're probably going to end around 30 minutes or so. This last section will be. So we'll end, 15, 20 minutes, maybe early. Okay? See you after the break. You back? You got a black screen. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Welcome back. You got good notes so far? Kind of this hodgepodge, but that's what I plan on this being. It's just kind of a conversation with us, a hodgepodge of how to help you strategize to be able to create a better game plan in order to be able to get more people to attend events, in order to be able to get better results. Whether you're watching this live or replay, what I want you to do, my objective is that you use these principles and concepts to come up with a strategy. You know, I want it to look something like this for you. If you got event, 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 over the course of the next 5 years, 4 years, or 2 years, depending on how often your company does it, if you're starting here, let's say, I want you to see growth to the next one. I want you to see growth to the one after that. I want you to, maybe one plateaus but doesn't go down. I want you to see growth. I want this, every major event, you need to see growth. You have to, if you want to grow your business. Because again, coming back to the formula, I would also tell you this, 100 people is a magic number. Once you get 100 people from your team attending a destination event, your business takes on a life of its own. It's hard to kill. Until you get 100, it's kind of hit and miss. You don't know for sure. You got to do it all. You got to make it all happen. Once you get 100 people, that should be your first goal from start to 100. Again, cannot see in here, Eric. I'll be just refreshing. So goal is start from wherever you are, get to 100. Once you get to 100, then you go into what's the next step. But expand your vision of this and pick a bigger number. I was just busting Alex's chops during the break. He got 6 people going out of 60. He got 2 weeks till his company convention. I told him I'm not accepting anything under 20. Nothing under 20. You have to have 20 people at that event. And that's, 33% of his team, which is totally obtainable. But now that 20's got to move to the next event. When's the next event after this one? Do you know? Is it once a year? Next year. Well, then, the next one's got to be, for you, multiple hundreds, right? Multiple hundreds. If you make it a priority now, take those 20 that are at the event, and you get each of those 20 saying, I'm going to bring 100 to the next one. Now you have 2,000 at the next one. But you got to plan early. You got to stack it early in the year in order to be able to achieve the result. That's the goal. The goal is growth in each one, and the goal is get to 100 as a magic number, and then expand from there. All right, let's take this last section and talk about these different events. And how do you get people to attend? The same principles apply, but there's some small differences in how you get the details. I talked about the details before, locking in the hotel, locking in the ticket, locking in all these different things. The details are critical in getting people to attend these events also, but they're slightly different. Because for a regional event, say the company's doing a one-day regional event, it's within a drive. Well, you just need to get the ticket, right? You might need to have some, are you going to drive or some small level of transportation? You need to communicate with the team. Plus peer pressure, plus contest, plus incentives, plus assignments, plus expectation, plus the story. Here's why, here's why, here's why, here's why. Using this as a building block to go to your big company event. Same thing's true with monthly. And some of you don't have monthly events. And my recommendation to you is to promote a monthly or create a monthly event in your local market. So once a month you get together, and even if it starts with a small group, get together. Or even Alex, if you need to do it online to start, get together. But the goal is, how many cities does your team represent out of your 60 people? 8 or 10. So here needs to be a goal. Find a person in each one of those markets that's willing to step up and host a live person-to-person event once a month. Pick a Saturday once a month. Have them do an opportunity presentation followed by a training. You can guide them on what they should train their people, how they get everybody together, have it a meetup. So make that happen inside of your team. Imagine if you have 8 to 10 markets that do no meetings, or you have 8 to 10 markets that do a monthly meeting. Just for the commitment of doing it, just the act of doing it is going to make those 8 or 10 leaders 10 times stronger. The act of getting a room, the act of putting a presentation together, the act of facing their fear and filling the room, the act of doing it builds leadership. Okay? You're going to have a different team, a more powerful team that is now equipped to start moving towards your big destination event. Now, if you want to do a home event, let me give you some tips on home events. Now, a lot of companies do home events. How do you get people to attend a home event? How do you get people to attend a home event? Same thing. What I learned to do over the years is I watched people invite. They would invite 20 people to come to their house. 4 people would show up. 16 people wouldn't. And they'd be just so depressed because they thought for sure 20 people were going to come because 20 people said they were going to come. So it's all about details. If I ask you to attend my event and you say you're going to, like, It's no different than using details with Alex here, who I'm busting on all day. He's got 6 people attending, which I don't think he really has. How many do you really? You would bet your life they're registered and are attending. How many out of 60? Be honest. 5. You bet your life. You bet your life. What's the number? You'd be willing to give up your car if 5 people weren't registered. We just checked right now. You probably wouldn't. Yeah, because you don't know for sure, right? So if I was working with him, if I was his upline, greatest gift I could give him was details. Show me who's registered. Show me your plan to be able to get more people registered. Show me how you're going to get your people. What's your goal? What's your objective? How are you going to do it? What hotel are you staying at? The Hilton. All right, so you're going to recommend more people stay at the Hilton. Do you have people locally here in town that you could drive from here to Utah together? Okay, so you can put that together as a strategy. What's that strategy? Are they bringing spouses? What's going to happen? How's it all going? So detail to be able to make this thing happen. And I would be asking him every day, show me who's registered now. Show me who's coming now. Show me who's got a ticket now. Show me who's got their hotel reservation now. Show me who's booked their flight now. I know they're coming from Australia, but I know you got some people in Australia, right? So you're going to appeal to some of those people and say, let's do something outrageous. Book a ticket right now and come join me at this event. I know you're coming from Australia. I know it's a 17-hour flight, but let's do it. Change your life. It's just something amazing. I want to meet you anyway, right? You're going to get some of those people, but it's all about the detail. And I'm going to pound him as a leader on the detail in order to be able to get him attention. Okay? I'm only pounding on him because I like him. Now, for home events, it's about detail too. I watched people, and this was part of Plan D Review. I watched people invite 20 people, 4 people would show up, 16 people wouldn't. And all of a sudden, people weren't returning their calls, and it got really frustrating for people. A lot of times, people trying to host a home meeting knocked them out of the business because they just I can't deal with this rejection, and it makes me feel bad when people lie to me. They tell me they're going to attend and they don't. So I learned some strategies. I tried a million things to get people to attend, and I learned some strategies. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm talking to you. I'll pick Vicky. Talking to Vicky. Vicky, I'm going to be hosting a special get-together at my home next Tuesday night. And over the course of about 45 minutes, it's like an invitation-only thing. It's a small group thing, but I'm going to be sharing something that I think you get tremendous value from. And I'd really like it if you would clear your schedule to be able to attend. Would you come to my house on Tuesday night? Meet some really cool people and hear an idea. And Vicky says, did I say Vicky? Did I start with Vicky? I think it is. Vicky says, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Now, is Vicky going to be attending if she says, yeah, I'll do it? Very small chance, 5%. 5% chance. She said she would. Unless she's super high on being a person of her word, she's learned that she could say yes and not show up to the party. She can say yes and not come to the game. She could say yes, and there's not really that much penalty. So life gets in the way. Life does its thing, and she decides not to come to the event. So I want to increase that number from 5% up to 80%. Instead of inviting 20 people to show up and one person shows up, I want 16 of them to show up. I know life's going to happen to some of them. So I learned how to do details. So I would say to Vicky, what time do you get off work on Tuesday? She says, yes, I'm going to attend the event. What time do you get off work? I get off around 5 o'clock. I said, and how far is it from your house to work, from your work to your house when you're done? Oh, it takes about 30 minutes. So you're going to get home around 5:30, yeah? Yeah. Well, we're going to start this event at 7 o'clock. It would really be great if you could be there at at 6:45 for a couple reasons, but how far is it from your house to my house? You know? Do you need me to send you a MapQuest? Do you need me to send you the link? You have the address. It takes 20 minutes. You need to leave really kind of to be safe around 6:15. So you're able to do that, I'll give you like 45 minutes at home. And every one of these questions, Vicky's going, well, okay, I gotta get up. I gotta. She's thinking through this stuff, and her commitment level is going up as I'm asking the questions. I say, you got to leave by 6:15, and I got to ask you a favor. Would you do me a favor? Would you pick up a bag of ice on your way over? You're going to be here at 6:45. Would you pick up a bag of chips? If we have chips, would you get some salsa? You know, whatever it happens to be. I'd have everybody in my home that would all have brought something. Would you bring a dessert? Would you bring some cookies? Would you bring ice? Would you bring some bottled water? You know, whatever it happens to be, I'll reimburse you. Just bring it. That would really help me out an awful lot. Would you do that? And almost everybody will say, yeah, just stop at the convenience store and pick it up on the way. Fantastic. I'll look to see you at 6:45. It's going to be amazing. Now, my chances after I ask all those questions to get the details go from 5% to 80%. Now, in addition to those details, still get back to turn. Yeah, I will. Okay. This is another time swim. In addition to these details, I follow up. Listen, I'm really counting on you. I need that. I need to make sure I get that ice by 6:45. I need to make sure you're picking up the chips right. All right, I'm going to see you then. You know, there's nothing got in the way, nothing screwed up because again, this is kind of a limited thing. I want to make sure that I see you. Or I just text them. They're just checking in, making sure we're on track. It's 6:45 tonight, right? Or sometimes I'll just be assumptive and say, can't wait to see you tomorrow night. Because now if something came up, they got to tell me. And then I have a chance to overcome that objection, deal with that problem. Okay? So follow up, and detail. Same thing's true in 2-on-1s and 1-on-1s, online events, weekly events, all of that stuff. It's about the detail, and it's about the follow-up, and it's about problem solving through the process. Detail. Anytime somebody says yes, it doesn't mean a yes until you see the proof. It doesn't mean a yes until you go through some other questions. It doesn't mean a yes until you get a higher level of commitment. Yes, I'll see you at the party. That's not a yes. It's just stop talking to me. You know what I mean? It's not really real. But make sure that you're focused there. So let's go to the question. Thomas from New Jersey asks, is it wrong to have an internal belief to attend a yearly convention by only using money made in your network marketing business? So I do not have results, and I'm going to an annual convention in my business. I'm looking to the future. What are your thoughts? Here's the deal. If you want to make more money, you need to go to the event. If you're not earning, don't wait to go to the event until you're earning. The event might be the thing that causes you to earn. So make the commitment and go. Put it on your credit card, pay for it, go. That's where leaders are born. That's where breakthroughs happen. I wasn't making any money when I went to my first event. I wasn't making a lot of money when I went to a lot of my events. But it was the events that caused me to be able to make money over time. And I would say that that's true for you. Decide that you're going to go. Back to that other question. No, the other question from the lady I didn't answer before. From Sarah. We're going to talk about leveraging the time right after a big event. I hope so. Here's all I do after a big event. The title or the theme of this coaching session is how to promote them. What I do after an event, back to this. What I do to promote an event is right here, I start promoting this event. Okay? Right here. At this event, I start promoting the next event. And then if in order to get the biggest results here, I need to front load my activity immediately following this event. I can't wait till the last minute. Now, Alex waited till the last minute for this event, but this next time, since he does one, his company does one a year. What I want to see from you, Alex, is not only to get 20 plus people at this event, but to come up with a very specific strategy to get your team committed to a big number for the following year. To get every one of them in their mind to realize that 100 is their goal for 12 months. They got to figure out a way to get 8 people committed to the next company convention per month over the course of the next 12 months. That would be split evenly, but here's the thing. Most of your results is going to be created from what you do early. Because, for example, even the people who don't attend, Alex, yeah, you got 60 people on your team now. Even the people that don't attend, if you get them all to get their ticket for next year's convention, every single one of them, now, as soon as this event happens 2 weeks from now, you get them to buy their ticket now. You now have a different person. They've got another reason to stay around. They've got another reason to rank advance. They've got another reason to bring their team. Get them committed the day it's possible. The day it's possible. And then get them to get their people, all of their people, engaged and get them all working towards a number, whatever that number is, 10, 20, 50, 100. This is the fastest way to accelerate growth. I know you do a lot of it online. That's all great. But this will accelerate your growth. But you need to front load it. If you wait and try and do it at the end, you won't be as effective. Set this mindset. So talk about how I maximize right after an event. How I maximize right after an event is promoting the next one. That's the best way to keep people active and engaged. All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions, and I got a few more things to talk about. Any more questions? Wasn't making any money before I started GoPro Academy. Now I'm making some money, getting better every day. Congratulations, Robert. That's why we do this. How do you encourage your team in other cities to go? Same thing. Solve the problem, Tish. Promote. Have stronger belief. Just work it out. Make it happen. What do we do if team is smaller at next event? It's happened. I mean, your goal is to always get bigger, but sometimes it gets smaller because you lost your focus, or something happened, or you lost some momentum, or a leader quit, or whatever. Mostly, it's because you lost your focus. But that's okay. Forgive yourself and move forward. Forgive yourself and move forward. Forgive yourself and set a new goal. Not every business goes straight up all the time. Sometimes you backtrack a bit. Sometimes you outgrew it. You had a big spike and everybody came, but then those people weren't ready to step into leadership, so you fall back a little bit, but your core strength is still fine. The goal is this, but if something happens and it goes down, just get mad, keep focused, and build the next one. Now let me just close by telling you a couple things. We've got about 2.5 set up. Okay, so just be looking for that and make that interactive. If you got questions, put those in there and give me an opportunity to answer those. If you have any questions about any of this, put those in there and let me help you answer those questions. I would tell you the next event for us is we have an Australia GoPro event that's coming up in July. That if you're anywhere close to that region, or you know people who are, they need to attend that 2-day event. It's going to be spectacular. We have a Beyond Leadership event. If you're a 6-figure earner, or you plan to be a 6-figure earner in the near future, we're doing one in July in Australia, and we're doing our big one here in Las Vegas in August. 5 days, total deep dive immersion for leaders, 6-figure and above. It's spectacular. My favorite stuff to do. In addition to what we're doing here inside of GoPro Academy. And then GoPro Recruiting Mastery. I want to encourage all of you. You want to explode your business? Find a way to get 100 people to GoPro Academy on your team. You want to start growth in your business? Find a way to get 10 people on your team. We got a 10-pack that you can get inside of GoPro Recruiting Mastery, December 4th through the 6th at the MGM Garden Arena. That we're going to be teaching social media. We're going to be teaching the stuff that we talk about over the course of this year. You're going to see it and hear it from million-dollar earners. We're going to be having panel discussions. We've got big-time celebrity people that are going to be coming in and validating network marketing. You're going to see hundreds of people earning $1 million a year or more in that room. They're not there for, it's not a mistake that they're there. They're there because leaders attend events like this. So my encouragement to you, each of you, is go inside of, go into the website, and I'm sure the team has put it into the chat here somewhere. Go to networkmarketingpro.com/mastery. Yeah, mastery. GPRM, networkmarketingpro.com/GPRM, and that will give you access to be able to get. And here's my encouragement to you. Why? Because my belief in GoPro Recruiting Mastery is bigger than your doubt about GoPro Recruiting Mastery. Get 10 tickets. Load those people up. Get those people committed to that. Your team will change immediately as soon as you get that. Move those tickets to those people. You don't need to buy them for everybody. Get 10 tickets, you get a discount, and then move it down to your team. So you got a ticket, you're bringing your team with you. Stay at the same hotel. Make sure they get their hotel taken care of. Make sure they get their transportation taken care of. Come with a team identity with your flags and with your t-shirts and all that stuff. It's going to be spectacular. And then next spring, Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing, spectacular, amazing event at the Paris Hotel. That's going to be in April. Put that on your calendar, and hopefully these events can help you support your business. We certainly enjoy doing them. So I hope you got value today. We covered a lot of ground, a lot of ideas, a lot of strategies. And what I want you to do out of this, as you finish, what I want you to do, 1, decide the next big event that you're promoting to. 2, lock the dates. 3, decide how many people you're going to push to attend and really stretch. 4, put together a game plan and a strategy to make that happen. 5, solve problems as you go, and they will show up. Just become more resourceful than the next person. And finally, use all of your leadership to stay focused to make it happen. To do that, you're on your way. You repeat that with all the other forms of events, you're going to win. There's no question, and there's no doubt in my mind. So I hope you get value. If you have any additional questions, go into the Facebook page and post those questions. I'll be happy to answer them there. And until then, I'll see you July 7th. We're going to teach you how to solve every kind of problem that relates to network marketing on July 7th. So mark the calendars, and I'll look to see you then. Everybody, have a great day. Go Knights, go. Our Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So they're playing Game 3 tonight. It's going to be exciting. Go Knights, go. And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.